Hello friends, thanks for tuning into this week's tech tip. Last week I promised that I was going to do a video on Google Authenticator, and even those two words kind of scares people away because it sounds very technical, but I'm going to make it make sense for you, and I hope you'll stick around to listen to this because it's becoming more and more prevalent that people will use an authentication app instead of a text message to your cell phone with a code in it. So let's talk first about why that's a problem, the text messages that you're getting for two-factor authentication. So you go in to sign into a website and it sees that you're coming from a new IP address or something like that. You've got a new computer, a new device, whatever. And it says, oh, we're going to verify your identity, so we're going to send you this text message. Well, there's two specific problems with that. One problem is if you're out of the country and are not easily able to get text messages, you can't receive the text message to type in to get into the system you're trying to do while you're out of the country. That's a huge problem, and it's happened to me before. So there's some solutions to that with Wi-Fi calling and things like that, but it's just a problem that Google Authenticator fixes. The other problem is when you have multiple people that are trying to log into the same account that are valid people, right? That you've given approval to them for them to log in. For example, MailChimp. MailChimp's an email newsletter system, and I use that system with many of my clients, and there are times when I'm logging into it, and there are times when my client's logging into it, and at times somebody will get challenged. Well, if it's tied to one person's cell phone, then you have to communicate with that person to get the text code to get in and all that. That just doesn't make sense when you're sharing an account. Again, Google Authenticator fixes that. So what is Google Authenticator? It is a tool, it's an application that installs on your phone, Android or iOS, that has a series of rolling codes. It's a software package that runs on it's an app on your phone, and it's always got rolling codes. You don't have to have an internet access, you don't have to have cellular access. Once you've set up a connection of Google Authenticator with a given account like MailChimp, it's rolling those codes, and anytime MailChimp asks for that code, you can just pull up your Google Authenticator app and type in the code that you see there on your app instead of waiting for a text message to come to you. That's the simple high-level thing of how Google Authenticator works. So I wanted to show you really quick what the app looks like. So the first screen I'm going to share with you is just the icon, what it looks like on your phone once you've installed it. And then the next screen is a screenshot that shows a list of accounts that I've hooked up in Google Authenticator that have rolling codes for each account. And then I think I'm going to take a quick pause and show you in a video of it so you can see the countdown counter. So let me do that real quick. You can see in Google Authenticator that every once in a while new codes are generated, and you see the countdown clock over there on the right for all of these that's slowly counting down. So that's the amount of time that you have to put in the code for your two-factor authentication. And it'll start going red when you get almost out of time because it's about to put up new codes for all of these sites that I can log into. See that? It switched to red. And then it's going to change. And now there's a new code. And so that's how the interface on Google Authenticator works. You only have a certain amount of time to enter the code. Okay, so that's kind of how that works, is that you're seeing that those codes are counting down. And the question you would ask is, well, how do I connect Google Authenticator to an account like MailChimp? Well, when you're in MailChimp, there's a section you can go into your security settings to turn on two-factor authentication. And one of the options, depending on the system you're using, it might have the option to choose Google Authenticator. And when you do that, it's going to put up, like say you're logged into MailChimp and you're turning on two-factor authentication, and you say, I want to use Google Authenticator as my verification method. It will bring up a QR code for you to scan. So what you do then is you go into the Google Authenticator app and you click that little, I'm going to put a screenshot up of that, the little plus sign in the lower right. You're basically saying I want to add a Google Authenticator connection to another app or another system. And then you scan, I'll put up another picture of you scanning a QR code. This isn't a valid QR code, but I just wanted to show you something. You would scan that QR code in MailChimp, for example, and that will set up the connection between Google Authenticator and your MailChimp account. So once you've scanned in a QR code, you now have a link. It's just that rotating set of numbers that you can always type in. And that's really going to help you when you have a poor internet connection, you have no cellular, but you do have internet because of Wi-Fi on the ship you're on or whatever, the remote island that you're on. And more importantly, if you're sharing this account, like a MailChimp account, with a team of people, they too can also set up QR code connections to their Google Authenticator. And when they log in, they can put in the code that they see. And when I log in, I can put in the code I see, but we're sharing the same account. So I know that's a little technical, but I'm telling you, if you take the time to figure this out and kind of follow what I'm talking about, it's going to save you in the future of not being able to get into an application that you really need to get in. For example, your positive pay authentication when you're passing an ACH check or something like that and you want to validate it. If you can't get in because you're on vacation, this might be a way to fix that for you. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. If you have follow-up questions on Google Authenticator, I hope you'll put them in the comments below, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching this week's Tech Tip. I'll see you next week.